You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete.
Hi, this is Chrissy from the Final Fantasy XIV podcast, Wondrous Tales. Come hang out with us every other Monday for a casual discussion of what's going on in the community and some tips to improve your in-game quality of life.
Intelligence System Analytic Computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You listen to episode 133 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of The Division. This week, we're talking about the Division 2 demo with someone who has actually played it, and he was also part of the Star Player program, and today is bringing a whole load of Frenchness. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me as always is my co-host, Luke.
Hello.
Unfortunately, Rob is not very well this week, so he's sitting us one out, but we do have a special guest. We are today joined by the multi-talented Frenchman. He is the captain of the skies, cosplayer, podcaster, and UbiSoft Star Player for Paris Games Week. It's Captain Kevin.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, warm welcome from the flight captain speaking on behalf of SITREP Radio. I'd like to welcome you on board this episode 133.
Oh my god, I can die happy now.
I should just let Cap do the intro. I don't know why I did.
Yeah, you've got that sexy French voice sat up there doing nothing and you're reading the intro like a moron.
All right, mate. What? I was expecting Rob to give me more shit, but wait, he's not here.
Yeah, I'm filling in for him, mate. I'm filling in. Come on.
Thank you. Someone's got to cover him. Anyway, I hope you guys and our listeners have had an awesome week, and welcome to any new listeners of the show. Right, let's get very quickly down to the news. Luke, over to you.
Do we have some news?
Yep.
No, we do. Dark Zone double weekend this weekend. So as of tomorrow, because apparently Friday is the weekend, it's double rewards. So more supply drops in the Dark Zone from November 16th to 17th. And then 17th to 19th even, you get supply drops every 30 minutes.
Thank you very much. All right. Anyway, let's get down to what we're actually here to talk about this week. Today, obviously, we have guest El Capitan joining us. We're going to do something a little bit different that we've been trying to do for a while. We're going to have a community episode where we have someone from the Division community join us on the podcast to kind of give their thoughts and feelings on the Division, maybe give their thoughts and feelings on how the game is now, what they think of the Division 2, that sort of thing. Obviously, Cap, you're a Star Player and you went to Paris Games Week. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
I can definitely. Yeah, sure. I got really surprised one day with an email from UbiSoft, straight from lovely Irish Alan, who's just, on behalf of all the team at the Ubisoft Club, invited me to Paris Game Week as a Star Player, which I was really surprised. Because
No, come on. Thoroughly deserved, dude. Your cosplays are brilliant.
We get loads of cosplay. I've got competition, but it's not that much competition. It's a great community, and we all share our ideas, and we all pick up inspiration from each other. So it's great.
I was wondering where you were going with that when you said there's not much of a competition. You were just like, I've already won. Sorry,
I'm
guys.
the best. Look at me.
No, that's not me. That's not who I am. I'm just because the other guys are just coming up with some amazing shots. If you go on Twitter and you check out Dennis Goose and Kenga, they've got the latest ones they released on the Underground. It's just amazing. It's beautiful. And then we have a bunch of other ones. Obviously, we have Fox. We have Area the Fox. We have Mab. We even have Max and Joe, my brother in arms in the French community, the real crazy Joe. So we're all picking up on this, and it's getting crowded. Really, it's getting crowded. But yeah, no, I'm really having a blast sharing the passion and then getting inspiration from everyone. And yes, I've been picked up as Star Player initially the email says it's because of my podcast, because yes, you guys also have competition. I'm doing a podcast. Damn it.
Damn it.
Sponsored by Yannick himself. It's the Baguette Cast. Don't worry, you don't have that much competition. It's a French podcast. We're trying to lighten up the French community that is a little bit lacking right now in the division. So we have, as I stated earlier on, we have Mab, we have The Real Crazy Joe, Tilas is one of ours as well, and then myself, yours truly. And apparently it's thanks to that I've been picked up as a star player.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Super,
So how far into the life of the Baguette Cast are we then?
Well, technically we're going to record episode 6 very soon, but
Six?
Wow, but
okay.
each episode is like 3 hours. So we divide each episode in like 3 chunks, 3 parts. So we're nearly episode, what's like 12, 13 now?
Right.
No, episode 6 will be soon. In the air, we're going to talk about what we live, because Joe was also a star player with me on the Paris Games Week, and we have loads of things to talk about. We've met plenty of other French star players from different brands, from different Ubisoft brands, like mainly Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six Siege. We had some Just Dances as well, and it was an absolute blast just meeting passionate gamers just like we are, and they've got their own website, they've got their Facebook, and they got a whole bunch of community going on as well. So it's giving us even more energy and to carry on and to keep on going with more ideas, more things to work on.
I mean, we went to Gamescom. We didn't go to Star Players, but you know, there was a hell of a lot of energy there, wasn't there, Luke? Like, you don't realize how many people are actually interested in, like, not only the Division but other types of games. Like, there was so many people who stood around waiting to play Rainbow Six, Battlefield. I still can't believe people were stood around the block for Destiny 2 before the DLC came out, because it was out like the following week or something.
Yeah. Spider-Man queue was insane, wasn't it? You'd got Battlefield 5 queue was insane for the 3 days we were there, like every day. That queue was insane. Division 2 queue was insane, obviously. And then like a lot of indie games were getting a lot of love at Gamescom as well, weren't they? But I mean, I don't know if I was naive or not, but going to Gamescom, I didn't think it'd be anywhere near as big as it was. And that thing was fucking huge and packed solid every day. Yeah,
it's the European E3, really. They just get as many gamers coming in, as many visitors as they get in E3. So, except it's just a little smaller in size. So it's packed. The queue for Division 2 at Paris Games Week was just up to 2 hours to queue to play the demo. There was still a huge queue for Odyssey, the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where it's just like it came out like 2-3 weeks ago, a little while ago. Huge queue for Starlink. And then obviously all the other ones, the Sony ones, the Days Gone, the queue was insane. And Spider-Man as well.
Yeah, which is another game that's been out for a little while.
Yeah,
as
that's
well,
it.
Isn't it? So that's,
out,
that's
so it's
still
surprising.
impressive. Yeah.
How was the atmosphere at Paris Games Week? Obviously, there's a lot of energy. I mean, you guys must have been tired by the end of your time as star players.
The event center itself is quite crazy. We got lucky because we got the first evening was the press night, so we were there, and there was like literally like just a few guys just here wandering around, wondering what this whole event was about. And we got to play a bit of Division 2, the demo, and it was nice. The second day was getting crazy, and then the Saturday morning was just insane. You couldn't move around. We basically stayed on the Ubi booth. Noise-wise, it was just, the sound was insane everywhere. There was a Fortnite booth. It's the same size as the Sony booth, just for one game, for Fortnite.
Did they still have the zip line?
They had crazy things going on that booth. It was just insane. The queues all over the place.
It's so noisy though, right?
Noise.
Yeah.
Man.
There was two games I was really annoyed I missed out at Gamescom. There was the new Darksiders game, which I think's out in the next couple of weeks, and Biomutant. I don't know if either of them were there, but like they were right by the Fortnite bit, and it was just like bleeding off Fortnite to go straight into those, which is why the queues never went down.
No, I had that trouble with Days Gone, because when I played the Days Gone demo on the PlayStation booth, the PlayStation stage was just loud, crazy. You couldn't hear the game, and then Fortnite was just next door as well. So it's just like was useless playing it. It's just you couldn't get the atmosphere of the game. But Darksider was on the other side, so Darksider had a bit of credit. Tomb Raider was here as well. Tomb Raider, the whole Square Enix booth was huge as well. I got to say something about Ubisoft and the Ubi booth. I've wrote them an email because I wanna congratulate them, because it was what they did was really good. They had those big walls with their adverts, obviously their game advertisement on, and it was so big, so tall that you could literally just seek shelter inside of it. It was like the sound was just like a lot more quiet in the UB booth. I don't know if it was intended, but it was just really clever. And then they had a few places to rest, so you could rest. And there's like For Honor was in front of them. They had Space Junkies behind them, so they had demos everywhere. The UB store was next to them, so it was just really clever to get a place where you actually can just sit back, relax for a few minutes, and catch up your breath.
I think that's something that people take for granted when you go to one of these things, and not only go for like one day, you're there for like 3 days or more, and you're like, first day, my legs are tired. Second day, I just want to sit down. But like when you first get there, you're like, I'm definitely not using one of those cardboard seats that you see them all carrying around.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily, good friend of ours, Bori the Blade, hooked us up with some chairs whilst we were out there that we carried around the whole of Gamescom. Don't ever get the guy to order you a pizza though, because just saying.
Bori, you're the best.
Love you, dude.
Love you, dude.
Those chairs were lifesavers. Like if it weren't for those chairs,
Godsend.
you would have been begging people for those cardboard boxes after 2 days, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we were sitting on the
Rob fell in
ground
love
to
with
change
one.
to get lunch or anything. It was just like the event center was just not great for that sort of thing. You had to move on to another hall to get some sitting, but it's in a big, huge corridor, and it's just like constant movement, and it's not, you can't really rest. It's not nice. It's not enjoyable.
Yeah, you had to have a seat or a cardboard box at Gamescom, or go and stand outside, because it was obviously a lot less crowded outside where the food booths were. But obviously, even then, there was busier times than not. Obviously, people getting food, drinks, whatever. But yeah, it sounds like you had a very similar experience to us, obviously, aside from all the Star Player stuff that you got to enjoy. Is there much of the Star Player experience that you can tell us about without you getting your knuckles wrapped?
Yes, I can talk about a few things.
The floor is yours, my friend.
Especially considering we got really lucky as the French Star Players, because we got to visit the HQ, Ubisoft HQ, that's in Montreuil, northeast of Paris. We got to visit them, the studio, and we visited the lab. And I can say a few things about it. I've got a few NDAs, unfortunately, but I can say that. So we went there early morning on a Thursday, and we had breakfast over there. And you come in, just the building is just, it's a normal building. Nothing shouts Ubisoft or anything, and you just pass by behind it to get to the entry. And the entry is just, you get just the UB logo, and that's pretty much it. So it's very quiet and then stealthy building. You get in, man. There's just like statue of the Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. You got the Bajek, the Assassin's Creed, the latest one, not Odyssey, but Origins. You got Just Dance posters everywhere. We went there, it was the day they launched Just Dance 2019, so there was quite a few things on Just Dance. In the team we were 14 Star Players. So we had 3 division: Joe, Mooney and myself. Mooney is a moderator, and she's got a pretty huge Discord as well. Joe is my compadre in this baguette adventure we're on. Then we had 3 Rainbow Six, and then all the rest was just Assassin's Creed. And very passionate guys. So they were all over, but just like crazy, just like sparkling in the eyes, and it's just beautiful. So we came in, we had breakfast over there, and presentation. We had 3 main presentations. So basically the story of Ubisoft, get back to the early stages, how they come up to becoming what they are right now. Cool. Super interesting. Is obviously things you can't know. And then we talked to it's a lot of Q&As obviously, and checking my notes here.
What a pro! Look, he's come with notes.
I'm a podcaster now. I got to do it the real deal. I'm a professional, man, industry professional. So they showed us now. They told us how they interact, because they've got all those studios across the world, and they showed us how they interact with the studios, what they can do, what they can't do, how they use these studios' knowledge and or these studios' engine for other games, and then there's a lot of creativity flowing around, and there's a lot of sharing as well. So it's super interesting.
That is something that you have to give Ubisoft a lot of credit for. I'm sure there's other studios that do it, EA possibly, but I think it's more of a case that certain studios tend, like, depending on where they're based, tend to work on one game, don't they? Whereas Ubisoft has, like, I can't remember how many studios are working on, like, the Division 2 at the minute, but there's quite a lot. Yeah. And the fact that they have the ability to, use the resources of the studios, but then also send stuff, like, it's got to be very quick as well, because, you're working in game development, you want stuff done straight away, not in a couple of days' time. It's just crazy.
Absolutely. And they're doing a great job, especially when you're inside and you get a peek behind the curtain. It's wow. It's that personally, my Star Player experience, that's exactly what I was looking for. The behind the scenes, the real, the event itself. Yeah, we're all gonna get to play the Division 2 one way or another at some point, and I'm not too bad about timing. I can wait. It's fine, especially with my job. I learned early on to be able to wait and then play when I can play, because I don't have much game time available, unfortunately. But it's being able to wait is good. But this visiting the studio and that was great. Quick Q&As we had after that story on Ubisoft, and I wanted to know exactly what Star Player, what they were looking for Star Players, and if it was a quality program for them, because it's something quite new for them, but also for the industry, because gaming is interactive. You can read a book, you can watch a movie, and there's no interaction. You enjoy it or not, but gaming, there's interaction, and then they need, and we see that every single day on Twitter when we talk to those guys, and we see the state of the game, and they get their podcast, and they invite devs. The whole E3 streaming was just amazing to learn more about the inside of developing Division 2. And all those devs, they need to have feedback. They need to know if they're in the right path or not. They get insight from the headquarters as well. The headquarters is playing a huge. They're really on point with that, and they're checking every game. They're saying it in every single Ubisoft game. But getting Star Players in and showing our energy on our community, developing our communities for them is really what they're looking for. So they're just thanking the gamers, which for us was just like, why are you thanking me? I want to thank you for inviting me here. I'm just like,
yeah, right.
It's freaking Disneyland. It's Christmas, man. It's amazing. So they basically want us to keep on going, get even more energy to carry on, and then share and get more people involved, and then get the creativity flowing and the positivity flowing. Is very important, especially right now. As you said, we don't know what's going on with the division right now. Some are really just not playing the game anymore, and we're all waiting for Division 2 to come up. But we still stay positive, and what you guys do on a weekly basis is amazing, because and that's why I just fell in love with you guys and the podcast, because you could have gone and rant about the game, but you still, even though you have things to say and they're not always positive, you are trying to be bringing ideas, and then have constructive criticism. Where
I think for someone to actually say that as an outsider and as a listener, and I thank you for saying that. I mean, I've said to both. I mean, we kind of discussed it when I brought Luke on, but me and Rob talked about it. But I would say it time and time and over again. It was just meant to be a couple of friends sat down talking about a game, because you go to work, you're talking about with your friends. I spend that much time with Rob. I was like, why aren't we recording this? We'll just put it out there and see if somebody wants to listen to it. It grew bigger than what I ever expected. But I think the other viewpoint as well, I wouldn't say we're as big as other people out there at all, but because the stuff that seems to grow more than anything is the people that rant and kick off about problems with the game. We understand there's problems with the game, and we do get down, we do get disappointed with it, but we try and I guess portray it in a positive light more often than not, because what is the point in being down about it all the time or ranting? Yeah, we'll have rants, but
we can't claim complete innocence, can we? We have ranted from time to time, but I appreciate what Cap was saying. It's nice to hear that he thinks we're trying to be constructive, because that is one thing that I've tried to be, and tried to instill in you two as well. Is we should always try and be constructive. I'm not saying we always get away with it, because sometimes you're just a bit pissed off with stuff, and you might have just even had a bad day on recording day, so stuff just gets lost in the messages and whatever, and you start ranting and raving, and before you know it, you've upset somebody. But yeah, thank you for your compliments, Kev. It really is appreciated, mate.
That's something I've realized really early on, and then listening to, because I started listening to you when you got Fox on, and that was probably episode 40 something, so that was a little while ago now.
That was a long time ago, yeah.
And I've been listening to every single one ever since, and I'm in the Discord. You guys have a pretty significant Discord with a significant community now. You got more people coming into that Discord every single day now, and you even have the patrons now, the Patreons program, and I'm very happy and proud to be part of that patrons, and then give you guys back a little bit, because you deserve it, as long as you carry on on the same path, because you're on the right path. To my point of view, you're definitely on the right path.
Thank you, man. Honestly,
thank you guys. Thank you guys. Keep on going. Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking. Anyway, back to you as a star player. So did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I'm blushing over here. Let's get him talking.
Get him talking. And
we then had two other presentations. The second one was the editorial line of work. That was really interesting, because something you don't always grasp when you're outside, when you're not a dev, when you're not into the gaming industry. It's basically they told us how a game is made from the initial pitch through the first playable version, through the alpha, and then the beta, and then how much time this all takes, and then what they saying is on it, because it could be a game that's made by Massive or by another studio like in Quebec or wherever. They've got tons of studios, but they always gonna have their saying in it, and they're always trying to help them lead and take maybe the right direction when they know what the other companies are doing, or they say, well, that looks a little bit more like this game, so it's been seen before. What's your new catch on it? Do you have something new on it, or it's just so then if not, just give up that mode and then just work on something else. So it's very interesting as well. Very interesting. And the third presentation we got was the marketing point of view. And that was just like studying analysis of the market, what the other companies are doing, which games working on which platform, whereabout, like Asia is really big on mobile. I'm not going to talk about Blizzard, but yeah. So that was.
Are you saying that game is going to be big? There, are you?
Cock up from Blizzard, but yeah. So yeah, really interesting as well, the marketing point of view. That was nice. Then we had lunch and we got to play a few games that were set up for us. Super nice. The Crew 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. We had Just Dance 2019. We had 2 Just Dancer in the team. They were just like, they spent the whole Paris Games Week just dancing. Just like never ending. I don't know how they make it, where they find the energy for that, but it's just amazing.
I would just be like, are you done?
They just
are
keep
you
on
done?
going.
You're still dancing?
New song coming up. Whoop, they're ready. They're here.
You coming for lunch?
Yeah.
No,
I've got the TVs on now. It's like a super huge screen, and they were in front of it. There's a huge room space available for that. It's just great.
I suppose for them, it would be like us in, I'm trying to think, some PvP game where we're like, oh, just one more match.
Yeah.
And you're just doing that till 3 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, against each other on those games. So yeah, it's
crazy.
You don't see too many Rainbow Six player going and just dancing about with them, just trying to compete with them. It's just no.
I think I'd skip all of the Just Dance as well. I'd be like, I'll go and get another sandwich. I'll be okay.
Let me play a little bit more on that Starlink thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to play
That's
Starlink
doing really well
with a few devs in the room, and that was interesting to exchange with them and see their point of view, because Starlink is a big question mark for me. Because we had that kind of game before, and it's not always been very successful. It's very expensive for the customer, buying all those little toys. But the game we got to play the game also at the Paris Games Week, and it's good, but it's a mix of those toy video games and No Man's Sky. So you get a mix of games that have not really been successful. Yeah, well, we're still trying, we're still going for it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna get a copy, especially on the Switch. Because I think it's going to be great on the Switch, and then I'm it's got nostalgia of Fox, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I did try and sell Luke on a Switch, but I don't know how you came away from that experience.
I'm not sure how much time I would get to spend with a £200 handheld console, to be honest. I love the premise of a Switch, I really do. I spend too many hours of my day on the laptop, and even more hours of my day walking the dog, and then even more hours of my day. Stop showing me your Switch, Captain. I can see it.
Look, he's got freaking Undertale. That's awesome, dude.
Did I spy Sue Ransom's favorite game on there as well?
Probably the D game.
Yeah.
Nobody's been talking about. Rob's not here to talk about the D game this week, so I can talk about Diablo.
We'll talk about Diablo instead. Yeah, we'll feel that D games.
Really enjoying Diablo, Dead Cell, Undertale, Octopath. Really, really good console. I'm really surprised.
See, if I was in a job like Cap, where unfortunately for him, he's obviously spending a lot of time away from his family. He's porting from airport to plane to hotel room to hotel room. A Switch is absolutely perfect for a guy like Cap. For me, I go to work and I come home. That's it. I don't need a Switch. Do you know what I mean? And it's like 250 quid. Plus then I need to start filling it with games. So
yeah, I can understand from that point of view. But people have these moments, right, where they have time to look on their phone. Okay. But it's like part of their day. But once you start adding up how much time you end up looking at your phone, if you know what I mean, you could use that time to play something for like 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm playing just Beats and Shapes, or just Shapes and Beats. It's like a music game. It's on the Switch. It's really cool. It's an indie game. And like the cool thing is you can play it for 3 minutes to turn off. That is the cool thing about the Switch. You can put it in like power down mode and pick it up like the next day if you want. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. But there we go.
Is that the Switch advert done?
Like, I don't have to justify it. It's fucking awesome. I don't care. And I will be getting Diablo because I was going to get Pokemon Let's Go, but I think it's going to be an extremely basic game. So I will be joining the Diablo train probably within the next few weeks.
I mean,
When
now's the time to do it, dude.
Yeah. Whilst everyone's still playing it. Otherwise, you know.
Well, I just meant with the Division gap, if you like, because you kind of promised you're coming back to Division after Christmas to grind the hell out of all those shields that you've not done yet. So
Yes, I'm coming back. Don't worry, dude. I'm stuck on Red Dead at the minute. Not stuck,
worried,
but
not worried at all. I've done my shields. So it's up to you.
I'm like 35% through the story of Red Dead, and I'm on 3/4 way through chapter 3. So I'm determined to finish it because I feel like with games that I buy, I'm very easily distracted, and The Division several times has done that. You know that, Luke. The Division has took over several times. Battlefield 1.
What are you talking about, mate? Sorry. Battlefield 1 was a big one, wasn't it? It was like, oh, Battlefield 1. Oh, a week later. It's underground time on Division. Let's go.
Put it this way, like Battlefield 5's come out, and I have 10 hours free access on EA, and I'm like, I want to play it, but I need to finish this game first. You know, I had so many games in the past I didn't finish because of The Division and Destiny.
We all do.
Yeah. But yeah, the cool thing is like I can play Diablo at work, so I mean that's not a problem. Anyway, you were talking about games you played at
starting with the devs, so talking with the devs, that was really a really rich moment. That was interesting. Got to play Brawlhalla. Do you know what Brawlhalla is?
Brawlhalla.
It's the Ubisoft answer to Smash Bros. Basically.
Smash. Yeah,
it's really fun. It's really super fun. I'm rubbish at it, but it's super fun.
And it's free to play, as far as I'm.
I like the design. I kind of like small characters, cell shading, super quick, super fast parties and games, and it's fun. It's fun. You got to try it.
Luke, it's like characters from Rayman in a beat 'em up game,
right?
So like Smash style.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Translation. Sorry, it's my French is not on point tonight.
No. I didn't understand what the game was. I'd never heard of it, to be honest with you. I don't know how that's one slipped by me, but
I've never heard of it before I came to Ubisoft, and now I just hear about it everywhere. Everybody's talking about it.
No, I did see it advertised whilst we were out in Germany, but obviously, you know, it looks really good.
Super nice. Yeah.
Child of Light. I need to get that game. That's another cell shaded style.
I like the cell shading
game that I really want to pick up. Anyway, I'm going to try and.
That's fine. No worries. It's going to be a 2 hours podcast. It's fine. I don't mind. I don't care. I'm not the one editing this one. Sorry, Jared. I'm sorry, buddy. Then so we were done with lunch break, and I played The Crew 2 as well. That was fun. That was just completely arcade style, but got to play with the planes in there, and it's just done some things you can't do in real life, but that's fine.
I feel like you're looking at our face expressions for like any response.
No.
And I was like,
no, it's fine. It's fine.
I love that he literally went from talking about The Crew 2, which most people, I'm sorry to pigeonhole you a little bit like this, but most people would say is a driving game. And he went straight to talking about airplanes.
Why not?
I love that.
Everybody was like, but there's planes, but there's cars in there, and there's boats in there. It's like I don't care.
Why do they think? Why do they think that you do for a living?
Far Cry 5. I just spent my time in choppers and planes. I just love that game. I love that game. It's just loads of fun. So that basically took us like 3/4 of the day. Then we were moving on to getting out of the HQ, moving on to what they call the lab. But before I got into the lab, something absolutely crazy in my gaming life and in any gamer's life happened. We went downstairs in the HQ. We're coming out of the building, and at the same time, Julian Garrity was coming into the building.
Oh, wow.
I've seen this picture, and
he was going inside. How can I describe that? I was just. He was coming inside the building, and next to him was Serge Ascot, who's the basically the chief creative officer in Ubisoft. So he's the guy every devs, every gamer, director of gaming of any game is reporting to. He's got his saying on every single Ubisoft games, and he's the one saying yes or no to anything.
He's the one writing the ship, I guess.
And exactly. So when I saw him next to Serge, I was like, okay, that's the big meeting. He's in Paris at the HQ. It's probably one of the last big meeting he's going to get before TD2 is launched. And I was like, but I can't not just say hi to the guy, you know? So I came in, and we were just been speaking French all day long, and I met Terry Spear a few months back, and Mab, who both told me that he was speaking French. So I don't know why, but French came out, and I started speaking French to him and said, "Are we going to see you at the event?" And it was just like here for the meeting. So he looked a little bit. I probably looked disappointed, but I was just really happy to have met him and shake hands, on it. And it's like that was just like super nice. But I didn't want to bother him. I know it was a big meetup, so I was just like, "Okay, you got me a meeting. Go for it. Good luck." We come out of the building, and everybody's like, "Wow, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that guy?" Because they're all nerds. So apart from the Division star players, nobody knew him. And it was like, that's the creative director from Division and the Division 2. That's the top guy. And they were like, "Oh," and they saw my face. So my face was just like, I nearly fainted. And then at this point, I was just so, I was shaking, nearly shaking. At this point, the doors behind me opened again. And everybody was like, "Oh," it was like, I turned back, and he came back outside while Serge was waiting for him inside. He came back outside and he said, "Dude, I am so sorry I didn't recognize you." I was like, "You recognize me now? You know who I am?" And my brain just like went,
wow,
reboot, total
awesome.
reboot. And he was just walking to me, hug. And I was like, okay, I got my hug from Julian Garrity.
Nice,
like, okay,
dude.
that is my best moment in my gaming life right now. And he was genuinely sorry to not recognizing me, It's like, wow. It was super sweet to meet him, even though it was split seconds. I told him good luck again, because I knew it was a big meeting. And again, Julian, if you're listening to this podcast, good luck. Good luck to the whole team and all the studios working on Division 2 right now, because you got a big community. I know you don't want to disappoint, and we're here, and we're waiting, and we're gonna love it. We're gonna love it.
Well said, dude. Well said.
Yeah. So after that moment, that was a little bit difficult for me. I just tried to catch my breath a little bit, and then we went to the lab. The lab is where they play test the games before they come out, before they get launched. So they bring in gamers from Paris mainly, or gamers that can come in, and gamers that they know they're under NDA obviously, and they play test the games that are about to launch. It's super interesting, because what they do is they check the gamers. They check if they enjoy the game or not, obviously. They try to find out if they get the emotion the devs are looking for from the game at certain point. They basically put them they scrutinize the gamers while they're playing the game. So they got a bunch of biometric systems to check the gamers. They also are behind a one-way mirror to check the gamers, and that way they can check if they have a problem with difficulties, and if all the gamers are stuck at the same point. Is that a narrative problem, or is it coming from difficulty issues, or is that not clear? Is it not visual? The queue is not visually there. Things like that. You know?
Telling you to go in certain directions, and it might not be as clear to the player as
I remember
it might be to the person actually creating.
I got one game I remember that was just terrible. It's the very, very first Tomb Raider when it came out, and the second one was even harder. Those games were really hard because some places there was a lever to pull, and you just like pass in front of that lever 10 times, you couldn't see it, and even if you saw it, you have to be exactly precisely in the right position to be able to action the lever, and that's just something you can't have anymore. And that's it's obviously a very basic example, but it's a good example of what they're working for towards, thanks to the lab. The guy was really excited to explain to us what was going on. They're giving away some few rewards to the gamers that come in, so in terms of goodies and games and all that. So it's a nice exchange with the game and a way to get feedback again from the community. Yeah. And they were testing a game I can't talk about, but they were testing a game in a very surprising way, very old school, very very creative way to test a game that is not out and that has got no visual yet. It was like very in the ideas of the guys. So it's they're becoming really creative. Yeah, super interesting. Gamer's point of view again. You're just behind the scenes and just, wow.
Yeah, it's one thing you have to give Ubisoft, a shout out for is it's like they do try to be creative as possible, more so than any other mainstream publisher, I would say.
You need to give Ubisoft credit for opening up the lab as well. Like how many other studios? I mean, not that I know an awful lot about other studios. I genuinely concentrate on Ubisoft, but how many other studios do we think out there would even bother to open up their testing area, studio, call it what you will, to members of the public, essentially, just to try games or see the process of testing games, like Captain said, where they've got the biometrics included. I mean, biometrics in testing games? What?
Well, yeah, I suppose they're also looking for like a psychological response from the player as well to see if they are getting the correct emotions and if the game has an impact on them at certain points, which that side of it must be really interesting.
To go to that level of detail, again, call me naive, but that's incredible. I never imagined stuff like that would be happening.
I think it just goes to show like how much we as gamers, like as literally just gamers, if you know nothing else about it, you take it for granted more so than if you have more knowledge behind it. I mean, I know quite a bit about film production and stuff like that, but people go straight out the way and go, film's shit. But you think about the amount of people that worked on it, the countless man hours that was put into it. Red Dead Redemption, like there's a lot of people that left before that game even came out, and anyone that left the studio before the release of the game, I don't think their name's on the credits for it. And it just goes to show it's a fine line as a gamer to be pissed off at something, but then you also have to appreciate the amount of hard work that's gone into that and the money and the countless hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, especially since the gaming industry has become bigger than the film industry right now. The numbers, the money flowing is just, that's it. They surpassed it. And so there's really a lot at stakes on every single game. Well, even on the indies now, the whole studio is on it. And it's not die and try, it's die and then you're done.
Yeah, the thing is that like they're not indies anymore. Like the indies are like big things now.
Yeah.
Like a game like Moonlighter, which was supposed to be a small thing on Kickstarter, it just got like released on Switch and all the other platforms. But like it's been built up to be this big thing, and then people are like, it's quite short. You know what I mean? It's an indie game. There's only a few people working on it. I don't know. It's just crazy how times have changed.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to you, Cap.
So that was a good old day. That was a good day. The evening we had the press night, so it was interesting. We got to play Division for the first time, the demo for the first time. We were in cosplay. That's where Mab joined us again. and we were in cosplay for Division 2. We wanted to do videos, but in cosplay, it's just not possible. And it's just a nightmare. I wanted to vlog. One of our star player on Assassin's Creed done a nice little vlog, but obviously it's in French. But it was fun. It was fun. So we got to play Division 2, and then so the next day was the big day. It was Friday, and we were in Division 1 cosplay. And the morning we were at the Ubi booth, and we have what's called the Star Player Guide. It's guys working for UbiSoft, and then they're here basically to answer to all our needs. Nearly. You know me.
Nearly.
And super, super sweet, nice guys. They work for UbiSoft Club, basically, because it's the company working for the events in around Ubisoft. And they had their boss was just roaming around the booth all the time. Super nice guy as well. So we had Jules, Clément, and our very own lovely Irish Alan was with us. And they divided us in 3 groups. We got lucky. I got Alan with me. And basically, we jumped a queue on every single game we could play. That was just nasty. But I loved it. It's just, I loved it. Yeah, and I did something, and I'm sorry, Alan, if I'm not supposed to say that, and if that gets you in trouble. But I mean, Alan has done probably 5 or 7 events this year with the Star Players.
Yeah, he's done a
been
lot.
He's been busy. Yeah.
Super, super busy. And I was talking to him about this. The first evening we were in an esports bar, and we spent the evening in an esports bar to just chat with each other and learn about each other. And I was with Alan, and I was just like, but how many games did you actually played this year? And he said, not that many. So I made a point for him to play on every demo we got to play. So he jumped the queue. He made us jump the queue thanks to the Star Player status. And then I forced him to play. So if anyone gets him in trouble, it's my fault. You come back to me. I'm the one responsible for that. He was not slacking. He was not playing on the job. It's my fault. He was answering to my desires.
He was doing his job properly, Kevin.
Exactly.
He was catering towards the Star Players. Right?
Exactly.
There you go, Alan. We'll put a positive spin on it for you, sir.
And that's how I freaking kicked his ass on Space Junkie, my man. That was just priceless. Yeah, we got to play Space Junkies. So I don't know if you guys heard about it. It's a VR game. And for me, it's the big surprise of this PGW of this year. It's super nice. It's shoot them up. You're shooting each other. You can be in teams. It could be deathmatch and all that. And you just in space. We get jetpacks, so you don't have this fuzzy feeling of VR. Or sometimes you get you headache very quickly. I didn't feel it at all, and no one in the team felt it at all. And we kicked Alan's ass like, oh my god, but the game was super sweet. The game is super fun, and I can't wait to get it. I don't know where it's going to come out yet, but I'm hoping it's going to be on all VR platforms. But I can't wait to play it again. It was just loads and loads of fun. Space Junkies.
Nice, man.
Keep an eye on that.
I will check that out.
Keep an eye on that. Space Junkies. I got to play Transference. That wasn't on the booth. I played it at the HQ. Puzzle game, very heavy ambience. Is very interesting. Super nice. I think I'm going to get it because I like that kind of game.
Is that the Elijah Wood one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Right. Thriller, very, very heavy mood. Very nice.
I will say, if you like atmosphere and ambience, like in gaming, if you haven't already played it, go play Resident Evil 7 because it's fucked up, but it's good.
Cool. No, it was
if you like that.
There was a lot of Silent Hill in this one and puzzle game in the meantime, so it's just super interesting.
Anyway, the Division.
It's time to talk about Division demo.
Yeah.
What don't you think? Because we got to play it 4 times with Mab and Joe. And
4 times?
4 times, yeah.
That's just
They just took over a
Yeah, that's
booth.
just greedy, dude. Come on, share it
That's
around
like
a bit.
the first night, the press night, we got to play because there was no one queuing anyway. We were in Division 2 cosplay, so the guys were happy to have us. Second day, we played it twice in Division 1 cosplay, and they told us at the end of the day, because apparently it was the prod team taking care of that, so the guys in ANSI. And I got to talk with them, and I said, because they were looking for us to get pictures of us in the booth in TD2. So I said, tomorrow we'll be again in Division 2 cosplay if you want us to come. And then, so we jumped again the queue the next day to get in there, get pictures all around. They were super happy to have us on board. I've sent them all the pictures we'd taken. And it's like the fourth time they're like, "Yep, that's your seat. You got your home, guys. Go ahead, enjoy." And so there's quite a bit to talk about. I've heard a lot about sharpshooters. Everybody's in love with the sharpshooter apparently. Even Map, that's not she's not Faith, Hunter's Faith or Deadeye. She didn't like it in Division 1. She got to play sharpshooter once or twice, and she really enjoyed it. So it's good. And she's mainly demolitionist. So you see, demolitionist is a lot close quarters and proper crack control, and you damage a full zone on it. And
I'm calling that's going to be Rob's specialization. Yeah, exploding stuff in close quarters. I mean, come on, you know Rob, Luke.
Unfortunately, yeah, I do, and I think you nailed on with that, mate. To be honest with you,
as long as it's not dying in a contaminated area, I'm good. What about you guys then? Which specialization are you looking for?
Well, we played the demo 3 times, I think, at Paris Games Week. We didn't go to Paris Games Week. We went to Gamescom.
I missed you guys. What were you?
And every time I ended up with the same specialization. I only got to play the sharpshooter, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking that specialization, but I would have liked to try all of them. But that 50 cal, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can see that taking up a lot of my life.
It's got to be the grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Specialization. I really liked that. Yeah. But I did enjoy the third one, which I know you liked.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about, because I've seen literally no one talking about this. The survivalist is the one with the crossbow. I was just like probably like everybody when they come up with this new specialization. I was like, what's he doing? Is it stealthy? Is it coming close quarter? Is it laid back? Or because you get the sharpshooter is all the way to the back. It's becoming a lot more tactical, I think, now. So
yeah,
the sharpshooter is all the way in the back. The demolitionist is forward. And I really feel like the survivalist will be mid-range. And the crossbow, I got to try it, I think, 3 times. And it's making some fucking damage on it, man. It's just, I went for the heavy one. At some point, I was in the middle, and then the new heavy was coming up. And all the other guys got the aggro, so I was just lining up behind him. I was aiming for his weak point, the red box behind him. 1 arrow. I killed the whole armor, and then he had like probably 20% of his life left in 1 arrow. I think the survivalist will be a support DPS. Because basically what it does is just knocks off armor on the enemy. And then you can tell everybody else to just, I knocked off his arm, just his left arm is the weak point now, just go for the left arm. And you can move him to somebody else. And I think that's going to be, I think I'm going to enjoy that one. That's what I got from the demo, playing it a lot, is aiming for the armor, chunking, getting the armor out in 1 arrow. Trying to avoid friendly fires. The civilians, unfortunately, the civilians are right in the way all the time, and I got to explode quite a few civilians in the way, but that's fine. That was fun. So knocking out the armor in 1 arrow, that was just super sweet. Then you just DPS the hell out of him, and then you take care of the other ones. So that was really interesting, really good.
That's what specialization should be about, though, right? Like you've got
Exactly.
this super
You gotta find one.
special, powerful weapon, and you hit the weak point and ping. That's it.
Boom. That's
It's not
it.
a one shot, but you've done your job. And like you said, communication with the rest of your team. Right, his left arm is the weak point. Hit it. I'll move on to the next boss, and I'll tackle him for a little bit, and then you guys catch me up.
It was so much more tactical than the first one. I've never seen that the Division so tactical, and I love it.
Yeah,
and I love it.
I mean, Luke, you're saying that about the specializations, but like, I can't wait to use these in raids. I can't wait for raids. If they are,
It's the whole point.
What I expect a raid to be in the Division 2. Unfortunately, like, I don't want to say it, but the D word, it does it pretty
They do it
well.
well.
So,
They do it well. Diablo 3 is really good. Oh, sorry, Destiny's Ring.
son of a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, if the raids are as good as what we expect, like, that sounds harsh because it's the Division, and we shouldn't. Yeah, we need the Vault of Glass for the Division 2.
I think that's really what
I don't know about the time gates and that. I don't know how that would work, but yeah.
So let me ask you this then, real quick. While we're talking about specializations and them specializations and raids at the same time, do you think they're going to basically copy the mechanic from the D word raids, where a specific type of ammo will do a specific type of damage to a specific type of boss at the same time? So you will need your sharpshooters, you will need your crossbows, you will need your grenade launchers at certain points during the raid to do the content.
That's what you already do in the demo. Because now those specialization, they're not supers you activate when they're not on cooldown anymore. It's heavy ammo or specialized ammo that you pick up once you've killed a bunch of guys. So you get that ammo and you're like, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use it on the boss. I can't use it right now. And it's like,
exactly.
Red bars. So I got a purple. I got 2 purples. But I'm not going to use it. I've got an elite. Should I use it on the elite? I know the big boss is coming up right next. So you're still going to save it for the next guy and the boss, especially the boss, because you're still very limited on ammo.
I was just going to say that, especially if they make the ammo within the raids quite finite as well. Because I don't know if you found this in the demo. You probably did because it's the same demo. But the ammo for the special weapons seemed to drop quite frequently. I don't know if they'd like upped it maybe for the demo so that you could literally go and try these new weapons.
The drop rate, you can't trust. I've checked out the mods. I've checked out the gear sets and the gear pieces. We had basically the same statistic than the base same stats that you have on the first game. So there was a lot of crit hit chance, crit hit damage. There was a lot of life. It's like so it's a demo. You know, it's not going to be the final product, but so you can't rely on that. But I am fairly certain. Yeah, you have to have synergy within the team. You can't have a team of all shooters. You can't have a team of all demolitionists anymore. That's hopefully gonna be behind us. And it's going to be a lot more tactical. We're going to have to really talk to each other, make sure what everybody's doing. We're still missing medic support, but I'm not sure we're going to get
specialization.
I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be down to the skill tree. Once we hit level 30 and we choose our specialization, and again we can switch in between combat times. So once you're out of combat, you can switch to another specialization. I feel that you can have 2 sharpshooters that are completely different. Because we had the drone. We had one sharpshooter that the medic drone that stays on you or on another character and it's just healing the guy or protecting him. And we had the one with the drone, the offensive drone, who's going to go aiming at the enemy and just killing the enemy. So just by this, it's just one drone, but it can do 2 things. So it's probably 2 different things on the same skill tree. I have a feeling we could have a skill tree that goes towards DPS and one that goes towards medic. So you can maybe possibly carry more armor to give it away because we only could take 2 armor plates. You know, the armor plates now that you switch on the go, on the fly. Well, really slow. But you're behind cover and you're switching your armor plates. And basically, you can only carry, on the demo, we could only carry 2. So, or maybe 3, but depends. I've got a feeling we could have one guy who's carrying more of that, or can have faster revive, the friendly revive, where the other can be more DPS focused. And I think it's going to be like that, but it's just speculation. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see not just the skill tree, but how easy it is to change the skill tree. Because I think I've said before, I know I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but I would rather we were locked off in certain specializations to just be able to do one thing, because then I feel like we're getting back to Division 1 era where we're able to switch skills and talents and things like that on the fly, and then, you know, you're all end up running the same thing. I don't want that to be a problem going forward, and I don't think it will. So we talked about tactics, talked about specializations. From your point of view for the Division 2 demo, do you feel it's not only a step in a direction for the division, like a step in the right division for the sequel, but also it takes everything that's been learnt over the past couple of years and ups it?
It's difficult to see that in a 15-minute demo.
I know that's a lot to ask from a 10-minute demo. Yeah,
I gotta say, I'm going to talk about the sons of bitches, the true sons of bitches, by the way, because that's the one you fight in the demo, and we got an annex, intelligence annex on them, and a lot of guys are thinking it's the base level faction. I don't think so. They say in the annex that they're pretty badass, and I don't think they're going to be the top hardest faction, but I think they're going to be the ones just below it. I really experienced them as the LMB from the Division 2.
Yeah.
The AI, because that's where I'm going. The AI is top notch. They're really on point. They're really working towards just you think you're advancing, you think you're killing the guys, you get closer and closer, and by the time you get so close, you got everybody on your ass, and you're like, oh, I gotta run back. And you're running back, and you die running. And that's where you need to be a little bit more tactical on the second one. The AI is really good. And on the first encounter, you got just before the plane thing, we got to drop everybody just one guy, and the one guy, between the time he was with other ones and the time he was alone, he had completely different behaviors. When he was alone, he was just trying to get away and then coming back flanking us, where when he was with his body, it was just pure DPS advancing on us, like a war advancing on us. I got to try all the weapons as well, so I really enjoy it. So the AI, for me, the AI is really going the right direction. The weapons, I have high hopes in the new class, the what's it called? Rifles. Thank you, because we're gonna get better balancing with them, and hopefully, burst rifles will get a bit of love on this one. I got to try pretty much all the weapons apart from the Scar, and they feel really good. The M4 still feels like super awesome in your hands. The Vector was really good. I got to finish it.
Don't tell me that.
The Vector was just amazing, man. The Vector was really
I
amazing.
missed that gun.
I've heard a few people
Just
say
on
that the
point.
Vector's really good.
A laser. It's just not moving. It's on the target. It's just not moving. And the guy is just don't even try to get out of cover. You're already dead, buddy. The one that really was different was the M1A. The M1A was where you just like boom, boom, boom in Division 1. You can lay down some firepower. On this one is you shoot one, it kicks out all the way up, and you go back down, and then you can kill again and shoot again. So yeah, every weapon is a little bit different, but in a good sense, in a good way. So AI weapons. What else could I say? I think I've got high hopes for the specialization. I really enjoyed the survivalist. The lore and the story is gonna be good. They're really focused on end game. I can only see going well. The whole animation part was a lot slower on the transition. So when it's running, I didn't feel the difference with Division 1, but it's just coming from cover to running. It takes a little bit more time, just a few extra split seconds, and you can feel the character being a lot heavier because we have all this gear on. You don't realize it when you play the first one. You don't realize it, but when you cosplay the shit out of Division, you realize that it's heavy and it's not balanced because you got all in the backpack, so it's all pulling you back. It's a little bit difficult. It's like when we have that joke we have between each other. It's like, yeah, try to roll with the without crushing your Isaac brick and things like that. It's heavy. The gear is here, and it's a lot better rendered on this one because you feel heavy, and you feel heavy because you got proper weapons, and you're gonna kick some ass. TTK was good.
I gotta be honest.
TTK was good.
I was gonna say, just going back to what you said about the weighted movement, I think that's probably something no one's actually said, is the fact that in a real life instance, all that stuff is going to weigh a lot, and you ain't going to be able to like move side. You're not going to be able to side strafe or run, stop and start that quick.
Chicken dance.
I think, yeah, chicken dance. Everyone's looking at it from a PV point of view, but maybe it's literally just a case of they're going a little bit more realistic and they're trying to add weighted weight to the actual controls this time, or movement.
Yeah.
TTK.
Obviously in the demo I can't trust the TTL. Thanks, Deep Fried Dave. The time to loot. But the time to kill was good. It was really good. You aim at a character and he's gonna go down. Again, I was talking about Vector earlier on. He's on the target, he's not moving, and the guy is just to get one hair out of cover, and he's gonna be completely melted down. A lot less with the big magazine. So yeah, all the mod thing. I'm really trusting them on the mod thing because I think it's going the right way as well. Not having to loot those mods, and everybody having the same mod is gonna even the odds in the PvP point.
We spoke off air about the grind in Division 1. I'm not trying to go back to talking about Division 1, but you just said you think the mods is going in the right direction for Division 2. Are you not worried about the grind a bit for the second game then? And I know you've only played a 50-minute demo.
No. I get the question. It came to my mind. Definitely came to my mind because we're not grinding the whole mod part. I think we're going to be grinding the hell out of the gear and the weapons because we won't have any recalibration station at the beginning. I doubt we're going to get one, and it's just going to be loot, and gather the loot. We're going to the best loot you can get. It's how the game will work, especially at the beginning. I mean, when did we get the recalibration station? Pretty late in the game.
Recalibration station was one. No, recalibration station was 1.2 ish. Yeah, optimization station was a lot later.
A lot later. 1.7, 1.8.
Yeah, but they obviously originally with the recalibration station you couldn't recalibrate weapons. So a loot drop of a weapon, that was it. The talents were they were random talents, but then they were locked. They had to actually open up the recalibration of weapons. So
yeah, that reminds me of something I used to love in Division that was just amazing in vanilla in 1.1, and they got rid of it in 1.2, is the crafting. And I think crafting is going to come back now. Because I talked to Terry about it. He was wondering what was my favorite thing in the Division, and I told him it's survival. For so many reasons, they were on point with survival because you relieve the 1 through 30 in just 2 hours because looting becomes important again. It's vital again because crafting means something. and all this has been lost, unfortunately, with all the patch in the division. So this has to come back, and I'm trusting them on this one. I'm trusting them. I'm sure they're going to do a great job about it. And then I'm a casual, so obviously less grind is always good for me because I'm always catching up. As a casual, I'm always playing catch up with the patches, so I can't complain. I totally understand the hardcore gamers who need more and more and who want to grind more and more. But at some point, grinding always the same storyline, the same mission is just tiring.
Yeah.
We talked about Red Dead Redemption. It's great right now because it's brand new. You talked about Spider-Man in many other episodes before, Mike.
Yeah.
I got it. I just started playing it with, but I'm only at the beginning. And obviously, as you said, the game is just giving you. It's an open world again, and still giving you pointers. You can go there. You can go there. You got many options. It's a lot of fun. That was the case in the first one where you started the 1 through 30. And I've got a feeling that once you've finished with Spider-Man, it's going to be the same. But I've done that. I played Red Dead Redemption, the first one. It was the same. I loved it. It was great. But as soon as you were done and you've played the game a certain amount of time, you would have the same interaction. You'd have the same missions to fulfill. And yes, the open world is alive. It's a lot. It's alive. Where it's not right now in the division, but it's alive with the same things that you've been doing forever and ever and ever again. It's difficult to keep that alive. The episodes, maybe with the episode system that they're gonna implement throughout the at least the first year, they might bring some new life, new breath into the game. Although at the beginning we're going to be so happy to grind the hell out of it, and then again and then again and again until we're tired of it.
Absolutely.
And then we get more episodes.
I think the problem with the Division 1 though is, yeah, we had the DLCs, but they added modes rather than actual like story and content.
Absolutely.
Now that's, unfortunately, I will say the Destiny word, like the one thing Destiny does do is it adds story, it adds additional missions.
Yeah, there's a problem
for you to run.
If I may, sorry to cut you on this one, but that's exactly why Destiny lost me and Bungie lost me on the first Destiny. I love Destiny. I played it for 2.5 years. I brought friends on it, and they're still playing it. Destiny 2 I played, and I'm like, no, that's it. I'm done with it. It's just they come up with new storylines, and they just don't close the old ones. So I'm like, you're open, and you don't know what happens to that character. I'm in a clan in Destiny. It's called the Stranger's Army. Do you know what happens to the stranger? Do you know who it is? Just like, we got nothing. We got a fucking big storyline with a character that comes up out of nowhere, this big mystery character, and just disappeared as quickly as he comes up. It gives you that super pulse rifle, and then you enjoy the hell of it, and then the story is super nice, and then next DLC comes up, we're gonna know more about this stranger. No, it's a whole new storyline. It's completely different. You don't have history, you don't have story closure, you don't have arc closure, and that's not good. That's not good.
I do feel from a story point of view, I can understand that, but I mean, not having anything but additional modes over the course of, what was it, the first year and a half? It was a long time to 1.8. Yeah. Before it even got its first major expansion, like 1.8 being the first major expansion, Resistance, the first one that we had. Like, whereas like something like Destiny was literally, 1 year later, you've played it to death for a year. Here's a big expansion. You've got the DLCs in between. I'm hoping that is more in line with what they do with the episodes, and I'm hoping, when 2020 rolls around, maybe we get a big expansion to go with it. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I'd rather have something like that that's going to keep the life of the game alive and interesting for the people that do stick around to play it, because like all games, player base drops off, Are the same people still playing Spider-Man that were 2 months ago? Probably not.
That's it.
I mean,
Once you
it's
finish the
different kind
storyline,
of
you're
game,
not
isn't
gonna
it?
come back to it. And
But that's what a lot of people will do. They will play Division for the storyline. They won't stick around always for the end game content. But you will get a lot of people that do. And to keep those people interested, you have to give them something.
message sent. Guys, you get the balls on your corner now. You got to do something. We're trusting you. We're trusting you on that game.
Well, they've been bragging about end game content.
I was just going to say that they went from end game out, didn't they, rather than beginning and in. So yeah.
Right. Let's try and wrap this up. So before we leave, how do you feel about the current state of the Division? The first game.
Me? As I said
Yes.
before we recorded, I think they come up with something that was their downfall. It was a brilliant idea. It was the classified gear set. I've heard Bond Diesel talk about it in a Bombshell Jacket episode, and why the PvP and why the whole community is not playing the game anymore is not. They say it's a stale game right now, is because the gear set, the specialized gear set, the classified gear set, you need to have the 6-piece, otherwise it's useless. And then the end game, the yellow ones, it's just high-end gear, it's just becoming useless because of those classified gear set. And then the mix with the ninja backpack is just also rendered because they're a lot less powerful. So it was a really, really good idea initially because it avoided them having to have a new world tier and grinding again for the same thing and the same thing over and over again. But at the same time, it's their downfall because now it's what you have to have. You have to be set with the classified gear because the best thing that came up for diversity was the ninja backpack because you can play around, you can create, and you can have right now YouTubers and streamers trying to come up with a new build that's going to be like, focused on maybe, I don't know, medics or focused on DPS or focused on something else. You could play around with this, where now you can't anymore because you have to have the six-piece gear sets, classified gear sets. So yeah, we have tons of different gear sets. I'm a casual. I don't have half of those gear sets. I might have 2 or 3 classified gear set full, and that's thanks to Edlin Fox. Thank you, buddy. Because he got my account for a weekend once, and he grinded the hell out of a GE for me. But apart from that, I've got my striker because he was DOP. So when you're casual, you're always going for the meta. Unfortunately, you can't play around with anything else, so you go for the meta. I got Nomad because I tried to get Nomad. I haven't even tried it, but I've got it. And I'm trying to get the shield one, the defense one, because I've seen Sage play around with it, and it looks like a lot of fun. I've got a 5-piece right now. It's already quite fun, but I know if I want to go to endgame and then get some legendary out of the way, which is the shield I haven't done yet, I'm going to need a 6-piece defense. But yeah, so it was a great idea, but at the same time, because they didn't level up the high-end gear and the ninja and all the other ones and the exotic ones.
I think they said though, like they couldn't. I mean, if they introduced another world tier, they get you can increase all the freaking damage stat ranges, and the TTK would go up. There's a lot in it, not just adding another world tier. Everything would increase. Well, I do agree. I do think the GE sets are a problem, classified sets. But I also think they were done like people were complaining about PvP, and I've said for a long time. I think the GE I don't know why I keep saying GE sets. Classified sets were there to bring balance to the meta, because if you have everybody running a 6-piece, that is a lot easier in theory. We know now it's not the case. It's a lot easier to balance a 6-piece of the same set than the multiple different high ends and exotics that you could want to put together. But yes, you're right. It is unfortunate, and like I'm not saying PvP is dead, but PvP is the one thing in most games that keeps the game alive. And if there's not that many people playing the PvP because the PvP isn't great, then unfortunately your player base does reduce down as a result.
Yeah. It's a 3-year-old game as well.
Yeah.
So if they don't come with new DLC, with new storyline, new missions, new map, obviously the game is going to be losing its taste. So you're not going to like it as much because you've played it so much for the last 2 years, even the 2.5 years. And even the new guys coming in, why there's not many guys left in the DZ? Because everybody's left to play something else. There's so many great games right now on PvP. When I see Escape from Jerkoff or all the I'm playing, so it's just you get some great games out there right now. It's good. It's their time to shine, and then Division 2 is going to come up, and we're going to forget about those ones now.
Well, that's the other thing as well, though, isn't it? You know, it's all right saying, "Oh, they haven't given this, they haven't given that for the Division," but they were working on Division 2 since like the day after the Division launched.
Yeah,
they knew
the week after the Division launched. It's insane. It's just like, what?
So, you know, you get to that point where you're putting more focus on the second one than you were on the first one. So the first one's going to fall further and further behind because you're putting more and more effort into the second one. So, I mean, hey, it's a game that we've all played for 3 years and we're still sat here talking about it with smiles on our faces. So they didn't do a bad job.
Yeah, and you think the amount of money people spent on that game on one platform and they're still playing it and they put like 3,000 hours into it. Come on, tell me that's not time well spent.
Help. Jesus, man. Right, Cap, you've listened to the podcast before. You know, when we have guests on, we ask our guests a range of stupid-ass questions just to get a feel for who they are and what they like. It's your turn, buddy.
Okay. Go for it. I'm ready.
Okay, to start you off, what is your favorite alcoholic drink if you do drink at all? I know you drink because I can see you got a glass of wine.
I'm a Frenchman. I like my wine. I like my red wine. I like the rosé as well because in the summer is brilliant. I'm in the south of France, so it's more Bordeaux, red wine.
Sorry, can I just stop you there? Can you say that more French, please?
The rosé, the French wine.
That's better, thank you. No, it's just the way you were like from the south of France.
The south of France, indeed. France. I live in Provence. It's I'm not trying to brag because I've got lots of people telling me that my country is beautiful, and it's true. I live in the southeast of France, and for my wedding with my wife, we've been visiting all the wineries around because we wanted to be in a winery in one yard. It's just so beautiful. We got to taste everything. It was like not driving very straight, not walking very straight afterwards, but we find a place. But yeah, we have some. Yeah, wine is a big thing in France, and the landscape shows it because you got lavender everywhere and you get wines everywhere, wine yards everywhere. It's pretty awesome and beautiful. It's this thing that we call the sun and the sun shining, you know, that you guys don't have in Great Britain.
The what? Sorry,
the sun.
No, I don't know.
Not the newspaper.
I don't know what you mean. What's the sun? What does that do?
It's great for us vampires. Don't worry about it.
I do enjoy my bourbon as well, and I'm gonna blame it on Deep Fried Dave.
My man.
My in-laws are crazy about whiskey, but I've always found it very bitter and a little bit too bitter for me. And I think bourbon is the right amount of sweetness and alcohol in there. I do like my bourbon. So right, bourbon and red wine.
I'm gonna take Rob's question, and as a Frenchman, I expect you to give a really good answer to this one.
Yeah.
What is your favorite type of cheese?
It's too bad Rob is not here because I had something special for him, and it was Destiny cheese related because I used to cheese Destiny a lot, but I'm going to reply properly to the question now. We have in France at the moment about more than 1,000 different cheese. It's difficult to find the one you love and the ones you're left with for your life, but I'm gonna have to go with something pretty strong. I like the blue cheese. It's gonna have to be the Roquefort.
Okay.
If you get to try it.
No, I've tried it. Yep.
It's the blue cheese with all the mushroom in there and all the nasty stuff, and it's just love it.
Nice. Right, we'll try and speed these up. So, if you were on death row, what would you choose as your final meal? Meal.
Oh, it's probably going to be something very simple. Caesar salad, chicken Caesar salad.
That is a good
For
show.
your last meal ever
Yeah.
before you die. Oh, come on, dude.
I'm not. I tell you what, I've got
Kinda want
lots.
that now.
I've got loads of intolerance, so I can't eat bread or anything. So it's no. Unfortunately, I can't eat pizza. I can't eat burgers or sandwich or club sandwich or anything like that. So it's got to be gluten free. So it's tricky. This is a little bit. Although I love pizza, like anybody else, chicken is something I love. I could eat chicken all day long, or sushi, maybe sushi. Yeah,
Nice.
maybe sushi. Could be salmon sashimi and things like that. Yeah. So either that or the chicken Caesar salad. I like it simple. Simple is good, guys. We went to classics. Foie gras. Oh, fucking hell! I forgot about the foie gras.
No, first
The
answer,
entry,
dude.
the
Sorry,
first
no.
course. The first course will be toasted foie gras.
Too late.
Damn
Next.
it.
What is your favorite current television show?
Oh. I just finished watching season 3 of Daredevil on Netflix. And man, that show is absolutely awesome.
I've got to finish that. I have to finish that.
It's so dark. It's so I love it. It's super dark.
Oh.
My wife can't
I know-
watch it. It's super dark. I love it.
I know we talked about this
Westworld
on our
is amazing
Patreon
as well.
Westworld is
Westworld's
fucking good. We need to stop
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's going to end up
It's
going
gonna
down a
take
fucking
forever.
hole. But I will say, Luke, because I know I haven't spoke to you since we recorded on Saturday. After I watched 4 episodes of Mindhunter on Friday, I watched another 5 on Sunday. I've got 1 episode left.
Good lad.
It's fucking good.
Live.
If you have not seen Mindhunter,
Not
go
yet.
check it out.
It's on my list. I've watched the other one, the Unibomber. It was really good. Came out
Nice.
roughly at the same time. Unibomber was really good as well.
Yeah,
Really enjoyed it. And then Mindhunter will be probably next.
I've done it the other way around. I started on Mindhunter. Mike told me about Unibomber, but
Yeah.
just going back to our Patreon episode, I've now started watching Hill House.
Oh, I don't like that face.
Oh, I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like, because I like stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's keep it rolling. This is meant to be quick fire. What was your first gaming system?
Amstrad CPC 6128. That's old stuff, boys. I'm 40
Jesus.
years old. That's really old stuff.
You-
It's just right after the Commodore. In this,
No, I remember having an Amstrad PC, but I mean, I don't know
yeah,
how far.
maybe
I had a
you
com-
would- yeah.
I had a Commodore 64, so
Yeah. It was right after that, a floppy disk, and the keyboard. You just slide in the disk in there. Played Final Fight on it. Final Fight.
Nice.
That was, and I just got it on Switch because they got some remakes on there. It's freaking hard, man. I can't play it anymore. I'm just rubbish at it. But I love it. Yeah.
Who is your favorite recording artist and or band?
Okay. That's a tricky one.
We have to count them down.
I'm listening to loads of different music style. I'm big on rock, pop, jazz. A lot of jazz music. Nora Jones, Jamie Cullum, John Legend, amazing.
Any slow jazz artists you think Rob should check out? See, I know he's been listening to slow jazz recently for some reason.
Piano
jazz.
jazz as well.
It was a piano slow jazz or something.
I like the what they're called, the piano guys. Have you heard about those guys? They were on YouTube and they launched a few albums. Piano guys. There's one guy on the piano, one guy on the cello or on the violin, and they're try this. Check
I will
them
YouTube
out.
that.
It's fun. They're
Piano
just
guys.
replaying songs that everybody knows, but only with cello and piano. It's really good sound. But yeah, jazz mainly. I'm also listening to Daft Punk, M83.
Yes.
He's got to listen to
Super-
Daft Punk. He's
super
French.
nice. Yeah. I've got a French one, but it's obviously not going to tell you anything. He's called Gérald de Palmas. He is a French rock artist. He's got a band. He's been playing for a lot. He's not super popular in France. He is, but not top rate. But I just like his kind of in between rock and blues and a little bit of pop as well. So I like it. I like mixed. And I listen a lot to movie and gaming music as well. So it's
I did know that about you, actually.
Gonna be
about the soundtracks. Yeah.
Dude, you get bonus points for M83. M83 are fucking
M83.
awesome.
Oh my God, yeah.
And they're French as well.
Sorry?
M83's French as well, wasn't they?
Are they?
Pretty sure.
Daft Punk is
Yeah,
French.
I'm pretty sure. No. Are they? No, they're not. They're American.
Daft Punk is French.
Daft Punk is definitely
Daft
French.
Punk is French.
Daft Punk is
Yeah,
French,
Daft Punk
is
is
it?
French.
100%.
But M83 are French as well, aren't they?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna research it.
They
but
are. I've just cheated. I've googled it. French electronic music project currently based in LA.
Yeah, fucking good.
That
They
Oblivion,
did the soundtrack to
that
Oblivion,
Oblivion
yeah,
soundtrack.
with
Oh
Susan
my-
Sarandon. Off track. Anyway, what was the last book that you read? Decent book, should I?
I'm big on Tom Clancy and I'm big on Jack Reacher. I'm starting to read the whole Jack Reacher series. So the guy writing, because the movie is good, the books are so much better, obviously as usual. He's called
Lee Child.
Lee Child, exactly, Lee Child. And I've started reading the fourth one, and if you're into that kind of thing, it's really good. Really
Nice.
good.
I know there's like 30 books
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. There's quite a few.
Yeah,
Luke?
What is the one thing you cannot live without?
Wow. My phone.
You might have to put a timer on this, Luke.
My phone, because I can take pictures on it. I can listen to
enough.
music. I can contact all my buddies. I got my family close to me thanks to that with the pictures and then talking to them. It's always got to be the phone because that's your whole life is in there nowadays.
Yeah, they're like mini laptops nowadays, aren't they? It's incredible. But yeah, I guess for somebody who's, I would say on the road as much as you, but I guess in the sky as much as you, yeah, a phone would be pretty damn important.
Absolutely.
And if you had the chance to replay one game as if you never played it before, what would that game be?
Without having played GTA 3 before, it will have to be GTA Vice City.
Nice.
I'll tell you why.
Nice.
GTA Vice City to me is still one of the best games I've ever played. The ambience, the whole mood, and then the open world, and it's just amazing. But I played GTA 3 first, and that's where I got a real kick in the nuts, if you may excuse my French on this one.
Dude, you're on our podcast. Don't worry about it.
I stopped playing for a little while. I was studying for my commercial license and all that jazz, and a lot of work. So for a while, I just stopped playing video games. And then one day I was like, okay, it's time for me to get back on the game. And I entered a retailer once, and he had that booth, he had that PlayStation with the screen, and then GTA 3 was there. It was just like the initial cutscene was done, and the guy was just waiting next to the car, and you were just like, okay, that's 3D. I've played 3D. I've had all the PlayStation, so I've played a lot of Metal Gear Solid. There was a lot of 3D, but it's always like screen by screen. It's like you're not playing around, you're just following the path you're given. Where in GTA, it was for the first time proper 3D when you can turn the camera all around, pan around, and you can go where you want. And the game was just beautiful. But GTA Vice City was so much better because the mood was just amazing. The music was just amazing. The time it was set, I really hope they're going to come back to that time because it was just the 80s, man.
I love all the GTA games. I mean, even if you go way back to the first one, and it was like bird's eye view from above, it was just such a game changer. And then when they did branch out into third person, that was a game changer as well. But
completely,
I really like GTA 5. I played the shit out of that game. I'm now that Red Dead 2's out, I can feel me getting my claws towards GTA 6 already. But
yeah, that's what everybody's looking forward to. Yeah.
Right. That's it. Thank you very much for putting up with us for an hour and a half, Captain Kevin.
Thank you so much for having me on board, guys.
Dude, it's been a delight to get you on.
I'm the fan here. I'm just super happy to be here. I'm excited that you keep carrying on like that. You're doing an amazing job. Carry on like that.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Thank you, man.
You're not getting rid of us that easy. Can you tell all our lovely listeners where the people can find you on the internet, on the Twitters, on the Twitch, on the Discords, wherever you want?
They can find me on Twitter at 6golf3bravo and also on Instagram, Captain Kharg, CPTKHARG. On Instagram, I post my pictures from up there, so it's not gaming related. But Twitter is gaming, aviation related, everything, anything. If you're down and you need me to cheer you up, I'll be there. I got loads of people like that, and I really enjoy the hell out of all the communities now. I've got it's just my view is open completely since the Star Player experience.
What I will say, if you are brave enough to stop following Captain on Twitter, don't engage him in a GIF war. Your phone will set on fire.
And you might have some porn bots in the way.
I was going to say, also, were you one of the people that was behind the huge Twitter freaking music off the last week?
Yeah, we have a new one started yesterday.
I was going to say, thank you for that. Luke was like, I've got like 30 messages, and Rob was the same.
Loved it.
Like that.
Loved it.
I don't know
that
what is
musical
going on
thread. And then yesterday or this morning, I posted something, I believe I can fly, and then everybody followed on, I believe I can fly.
Nice, man. No, honestly,
That's what I love about Twitter.
Huge honor having you on the podcast this week. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad you had an awesome time at Paris Games Week, and it was well deserved, dude, for you to be a Star Player. And,
the honor and the pleasure is all mine, guys. Really, seriously.
Thank you so much, dude. We'll save questions till next week, but thank you to everyone who sent a question in. Anyway, you can find us over at SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as our personal accounts. Don't start that again. Send any questions or feedback for the show to sitrepradio@gmail.com, or you can find us on the Discord links found in the show notes. We want to hear your thoughts on the news and topics we cover, so please be sure to leave a comment and join the discussion in any of those places.
Please leave a review of the show using the podcast app of your choice. We really do enjoy reading all of them. The feedback is usually excellent, and at the end of the day, it does actually help other people to find our show. If you're brave enough to listen all the way to the very end of our rambling, you will hear all the juicy details about the other awesome shows that are available on the Mash Those Buttons network. Thank you.
Thank you.
We do live stream as often as we can, so if you're interested in dropping by and chatting with us whilst we play some Division and some other games, you can find us all over at twitch.tv/SITREP Radio. Just very quickly, seeing as it's on Star Player kind of topic, huge shout out to Locked On, the Locked On Tom Clancy podcast. If you're interested, go check the guys out. They did an awesome interview with Irish Allen, who actually heads up the Star Player program, and it was an excellent listen, so go check it out, guys. We have been SITREP Radio. Thank you very much, Kat, for joining this week. Thank you very much, guys, for listening, and we will catch you in the next episode.
Bye-bye. Goodbye.
See ya.
Luke, you just said fucking goodbye.
Thank you for choosing a Mash Those Buttons podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to subscribe to one of our shows, you can find us on multiple podcast platforms across iOS and Android. Just search for the show on a podcatcher like Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts and hit subscribe. If you can't find us on your favorite podcast platform of choice, just go right to the mashthosebuttons.com website, grab the RSS feed, and put it into your podcatcher of choice. If you want to check out some other podcasts you may enjoy, you should check out mashthosebuttons.com/shows. For World of Warcraft fans, we have two podcasts, WoW Talk, which is our news and community podcast, and The Torn and the Goblin, which is our lore and story podcast. If you enjoy Overwatch, make sure to check out Watchpoint Radio to keep up with the latest on Overwatch and its community. If you enjoy fighting games, make sure you check out Double Tap for the latest in the FGC. If you're a fan of The Division or looking forward to The Division 2, make sure you check out SITREP Radio. If you want to keep up with the latest at Mash Those Buttons, you can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/mtbsite, facebook.com/mashthosebuttons, and youtube.com/mashthosebuttons. We'd also like to have you join our Discord community, so just go to discord.me/mashthosebuttons and join us for a chat. Once again, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time. You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete.